why is this not Harper? This is the same situation we found ourselves in with Dean Ambrose when Fastlane first came around. Or not Fastlane, Roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline was right there. It was right there, and they either cluttered it up with a bunch of nonsense, or they just completely skipped it over. And this storyline is still interesting, but I feel like I feel the same way I do about the Raw Women's Championship right now, where Bayley has no agency whatsoever. Her character makes no decisions anymore, and everyone talks for her. There's too many people involved in the match that don't need to be. Same thing here. AJ's presence just muddies the waters too much. It should be about Harper breaking away from the Wyatts, Orton slithering into his place, pun intended, and trying to get the title. And you could either have it that the force of this new Wyatt family is too much, and we're entering a dark new era for SmackDown, or you could finally give it to Harper and he comes out on top, and we basically have a babyface / tweener Bruiser Brody as champion walking out of WrestleMania. Either way, the audience is going to be stunned, like, holy shit, you actually did this. And it's a much more satisfying, also simpler and clearer, which is what you need a lot of the time in wrestling, storyline.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's just, me and my roommate were watching SmackDown live tonight, and I looked at him when AJ pinned Harper, and I was like, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy, but what? The storyline is right there. It would make a great main event. Wyatt versus Harper versus Orton, who turned on Wyatt, who turned on Harper, who turned on Wyatt. The storyline is right there.
And plus, on top of that, like you just said, they could have it be Orton versus Wyatt versus Harper. That's setting up for, the Orton turn on Wyatt. That gives you another way to, take care of, handle the storyline. Just doing it that way, that even gives them so many more options. And honestly, no matter what they do, except for, giving Orton the title there, they'd have to, add something extra to it, I feel. But if they're willing to do that, it gives them nothing but creative, interesting, and just future expanding options. And I love you, AJ. I really do. But you had your time with the belt. Let's put a little bit of space in between that run and your next one. You've got something going on with Shane. Focus on that. We don't need you here for this. We need you on the WrestleMania card. We want you on the WrestleMania card, but we want you on the WrestleMania card where it fits.
And I guess my next question would be, Harper super kicked Shane. AJ pushed Shane into the super kick. So is Shane somehow going to cost AJ something?
Here's how I would do it. I don't know if this is necessarily, because I don't know what the hell they're going to do. What I would do is play off of, AJ shoving it in there. He's trying to work his way into this title match. Shane bars him from being involved in the title match. You can't go out to ringside. Nothing like that. You're not even in the match. If you go out to ringside to screw with this at WrestleMania, you'll be suspended or maybe even fired. Some big heavy consequence to just completely X him out of it, thus putting AJ's entire focus on Shane. And that sets up, AJ Styles as this, like, you took something from me kind of heel. That'll work perfect. By doing it that way, you'd get us back to that, all these creative possible endings for, the end of the SmackDown World title match. But then you also have, a much bigger driving force for AJ Styles with this whole thing with Shane, and you can have both occur at WrestleMania. Best part is, if you do it that way, with AJ in his current state, you can pick whichever match you want if you want to have one be a heel victory and one be a face victory.
Right. I completely agree with that. So I don't necessarily know what they're going for right now. It may lead to something awesome, and you and I just can't see that.
That's true. It could.
We could be completely wrong. We're usually not. So
who knows? Maybe I honestly think this would be kind of radical. Bray Wyatt, they keep AJ Styles in it, make it a fatal 4-way, and AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt collude. AJ gets the belt. And since Orton is like, shit, I played my hand a bit, he tries to reingratiate himself into the Wyatt family. He has to eat a couple Sister Abigails, and then the Wyatt family is Wyatt, Orton, and Styles.
Oh.
That screws over Luke Harper.
It does.
He loses out. It gives us a very rare end of the night heel victory. It heavily reinforces the Wyatt family, and it makes Wyatt look like a much more interesting leader because he's willing to take the fall if it means his whole group keeps power. That adds a level of intelligence and a new dynamic to him. So you'd even be evolving his character there as well as expanding the faction. Yeah. And that's if they want to keep Styles involved.
I completely agree with that. God, that would be great. Can we put you in charge?
Believe me, I would love it. I'd love it. Be like, all right, here you go. That sounds stupid. No one's gonna go for it. That sounds idiotic. WrestleMania comes around. Crowd is exploding. I will take my royalty check. Thank you, please.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to recap the rest of SmackDown, including the main event where we burn shit. And we've also got a chairs match and Dean Ambrose just annihilating someone. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we are going to wrap up SmackDown Live. That's next here on the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey there, friends and listeners of the Squared Circle Podcast. Are you looking for some new threads, maybe some new hats, or any other form of apparel? Do yourself a favor and head over to ProWrestlingCrate.com. Are you familiar with Loot Crate, those wonderful little boxes where you can get all sorts of nerdy goodies? Think the same thing, but infinitely better, because wrestling. All kinds of shirts, little toys, you name it. All available at ProWrestlingCrate.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast.
What is going on, guys? This is the Loose Cannon, Nate the Effing Great, here to tell you about a great company known as AJsBelts.com. Why are they so great, you ask? Well, let me tell you, they have every single championship belt that you can imagine, from classic championships to modernized championships. Hell, even they do MMA championships. They have great deals on championship belts, and I know what you're thinking. What if you can't afford them right now? No problem. They have a great layaway program, as well as if you go through PayPal Credit, you can get your championship belts right away. A&J's Belts, the proud sponsors of the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spencer Hart from the Squared Circle Podcast. Wanted to let you know about some amazing news. You can listen to the Squared Circle Podcast right now on the new Satchel podcast player for both Android and iPhones. Here's the deal. While you're listening to us on Satchel, you can quickly and easily send us a few dollars to make our show even better. So if you're listening to us on Satchel right now, go ahead, click that donate button and send us some much appreciated donations. And if you're not listening to us on Satchel, I mean, come on, what are you doing? Download the podcast player right now at satchelplayer.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast. Welcome back to the Square Circle Podcast on Spreaker.com, iTunesPlayer.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn Radio, IWNerd.com, WrestleWorld.uk, and the Satchel Player for your Android and iPhones. All right, buddy, let's move into the chairs match between Apollo Crews and Dolph.
Wow, did I not give a shit about this?
Yeah. You know, they started the heel turn pretty well, and then, like, have you ever seen a plane, like, nosedive into the ground?
Oh, yeah, where it looks at first like, oh, the pilot's going to pull up, he's going to save it, and then...
Yeah. Imagine it, like, 8 times. Like, that's how I feel right now with Dolph. I love Dolph, and I'm so upset that they completely screwed up his heel turn.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, I think I'm just kind of... with Dolph now. It's like, oh, they could do something amazing with him at this point, like blow my mind, shocking, holy crap, this is amazing, and I'd probably still be like, the stuff around Ziggler's really cool.
Yeah.
Still Ziggler, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it got real big, so it's gonna get real bad. I don't care.
Yeah. And God, they've completely destroyed Apollo Crews.
He never even got a chance. He never got a character, even on NXT.
No, have you ever seen a plane like lift off the ground and then immediately nosedive into the ground? I'm on a lot of those with these two right now.
No, dude, this one, the plane didn't even get all the way. The plane barely had the fucking landing gear tucked up. It just belly flopped straight back down onto the runway.
Yeah. I was not
Apollo.
impressed with this match. It was slow, in my opinion. It was, I don't know.
Are we ready to declare Apollo dead in the water?
Not yet, because I'm hoping that they do something with him, because they need to.
I'm starting to, every time he shows up, I'm starting to get that maybe he should go back to NXT thought in the back of my head.
Can we do that? I mean, it's not a demotion if you...
Really not.
No. Let's move into... I feel like I'm missing something. We've got... we find out next week that we get Cena and Nikki Bella versus Carmella and Ellsworth. Why? I would love to see James Ellsworth be completely raked in the ass by John Cena. So,
dude, I mean, I'm just sort of picturing how satisfying it is. And don't get me wrong, I am one of those last holdouts who is still enjoying how stupid and worthless Ellsworth is. But even I will get a tremendous sense of satisfaction if Cena does a fucking super rolling attitude adjustment and just fucking nukes him into 1,000 pieces and just pins the dust.
Yeah, so Ellsworth is going to explode next week, and so I'm excited for that. So let's move into the main event. Bray Wyatt's Invocation, where we learn what we've already known, that Randy Orton, 2 weeks removed from saying, I'll never fight you, Bray. You're my family. You're my blood. I'll never fight you. Okay, so before we continue, my roommates just got home, and they just brought this adorable puppy, and I'm currently recording the show, and I can't stop focusing on the dog. But Randy Orton completely betrays Bray Wyatt and blows up the Wyatt complex, burns Sister Abigail's soul, and I am happy.
God, this got so fucking dark. Holy, like people said, oh wow, all those incidents of accidental bleeding, or some of the stuff they've had some of the people say before, they've really pushed that PG rating. Nah, man, Bray Wyatt was on some satanic shit tonight. Like, can they say this? And can he do all this in a PG show?
He's the champion. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
No, but the censors in the FCC still exist, and I'm just like, dude, this really? I'm okay that we can. I'm really fucking okay that we can do this shit. But can we do this shit? Can we do this shit? We're doing this shit. I'm okay. I'm okay with us doing this shit. How you doing?
So Randy Orton burns the complex to the ground after saying, I'm coming for you, Bray Wyatt, at WrestleMania. I'm coming for your title. It'll be a triple threat match with AJ, Bray, and Orton for the WWE Championship. Oh, yes. I'm okay with this.
Oh, yeah. And I gotta say something. At the Rumble, they threw Roman Reigns out there to make everyone okay. In fact, love Randy Orton winning the Rumble. The way they just did everything tonight, nobody wanted them to break up so quickly. Everyone's liking this. They've gotten really good at making us like things we ordinarily wouldn't, and that is an extremely good sign.
Yeah, I agree.
No. Raw would learn that little lesson.
Yeah, you'd think so. So before we go, I have to say something. Chris Lockman.
Oh, Lord.
So, Thursday night, I'm going to be going to Smark Money. I'm invading Smark Money to do this frickin' thing with Chris. This stupid Chris. We decided that beating me was the best thing he's ever done in his life. It is, because Chris doesn't really amount to anything. I mean, our show beats them in ratings. I mean, it's quite clear that they are very jealous of what we've got here. So, Chris, I hope you know that